if you guys don't know, we always have our weekly Twitter space, and we've been bringing it to YouTube and Rumble and different platforms to tell you guys about all of the crazy conversations that we're having, because they are always crazy. And this month, what we've decided to do is actually start exploring the metaverse and kind of doing some fun things in that space. And so to commemorate that, we're actually watching Black Mirror together. And so with that, last week we watched episode 1. This week we watched episode 2, and we all just finished watching episode 2, and we're going to dive into the topics here. So you see we got Kush Nubia and Tiny that was here watching it with us. So I'm excited to actually talk about this. And so Adelia, or I guess, how y'all want to get started? Like, what was y'all thoughts? Because it was crazy. Like, it was a lot to unpack there in the episode.
Okay, I'm back. Let me know if you can hear me now.
Yes, we sure can. You sound great.
Alright, perfect. Thank you. Well, I'm so glad to have watched this movie, this episode with all of you guys, and we're chatting, commenting. It's clearly very crazy, and yeah, I would like to know what you guys are expecting when the guy actually go out of the space.
I was expecting that, I guess. You know, when you think about people kind of living up in the sky and being this is a simulation, I kind of imagine that, and that kind of what it is, except for I don't know about the in between. I don't know if it's that vanilla, but one time, I think last week actually, when we were talking about this show, I think that's what somebody else said too, maybe life is just boring, and that's why we create these simulations to make it exciting, like a game. And so maybe, and then when you kind of get to the end of it, that's kind of where you kind of get that same feeling oh, they're just floating along space, so it's just a little blimp in their time, and they're just kind of floating on now.
I feel like there are so many twists in this episode. At the beginning, I thought, the beard guy, his name is Bailey. I think he would somehow kill himself or something, and then he didn't. And the second twist is that I thought he is actually gonna share the family with the other guy, where the wife will actually agree to it, but no, she was a keeper. Turns out she's loyal.
I know. I think all of us was rooting for her at that part. Okay, Lana.
Yeah, Lana is good. And then another twist is when he actually went outside of the space, I thought the David guy just gonna be oh, you can just stay outside. I'm gonna go enjoy your family. I'm gonna go replace you and try to enjoy your family. Nothing happened. That's what I thought he's gonna do, but when he actually opened the door, I was oh, actually he's a good guy. What happened? Mm-hmm. And then he ended up just slandering his whole family.
Yeah. Same. I was
they each other,
yeah, it would make sense though, because I was how is it gonna end, right? If I was either one of them, I would always be suspicious of the other anyway. So I was already surprised with how chill, I think his name was David, and the real David, how chill he actually was. You didn't even think that he was setting you up when he told you to go outside and check something after you just did all of that in that man's face for no reason. Because he was being real extra before he went and laid down. I think there gotta be space rules, don't yell in nobody's face an hour before you lay down and can't see nothing. I don't know. That wasn't smart to me.
Yeah, I guess I also wonder why they're not having a fight. The guy comes back up and he just looked at David, be so vulnerable, so hurt, how can you do this to me when I'm doing this to you? That look. But yo, if I were him, I'd probably just want to kill him. But I don't know why they're just so chill. And then
That's what I'm saying. I guess because it's just like a part of their like life, you know. Like they probably like just like how his friend was saying, like he probably was already like over that stage already. So his friend probably was like, "Hey, I'm doing him a favor anyways. We're gonna take this avatar, start a new little life, and you know we're gonna kind of keep floating on at this point."
That's kind of crazy. It's kind of like he was a victim and now he hurts other people the same way he was hurt.
That's usually how it works, you know? And I think that's like where I know when we was actually watching the show, that was one of the things you jumped in there, because actually for anybody who hadn't seen, what had happened was there was actually 2 dudes up on the spaceship and they had 2 replicas in the beginning, but one of them ended up getting like jumped and tortured and they like killed it, and then his whole family too. And so then it was both the space guys had to just use the one. And so with that, it was like you said, like going into that other person's body with all that like trauma that you already just experienced and lost your own family, and now you're this person, and you know, having to deal with the psyche of that. And I even said, you said that too, like he's psycho, and I'm like, he probably is. Could you imagine like bouncing in between reality and like you just was thinking that this girl was liking you because she's looking at you so in love, the whole time it's like she's looking at her husband, you nut, and like he just was really going through a traumatic experience but in space.
Totally, and also like the other guy that just humiliated him with all the words that his wife actually didn't say. I remember him coming. I don't remember hearing her saying that.
Cause she was like, she said she wished she did do it. I was like, she didn't say that. She was like, she wished she did do it. I'm like, baby, I didn't hear her say none of that. What he said, she wanna vomit. What he said, she said she wanna vomit. I was like, all right, he doing too much now. She did not say all of that. And then gonna go lay down. I was like, boy, you.
Yeah, like the guy was trying to humiliate the other guy. Just trying to tell him, I have a family. Like, you don't try to steal my family. Stay away from them. But like he didn't know, like by doing that, basically telling him like, oh, David, like you have nothing and you will always have nothing. And that's like a tremendous hurt for
it
him.
Is, yeah. And it's like, that's why I was wondering, like, how can you even control that? So like, so now that you thought that dude was about to just sit in the spaceship his whole life now for forever, and you were just about to keep going into the simulation, like, it sounds, you know, good until you start doing the most, and then now it's like, nope, now we're back at square one.
And also, like, the guy was, like, so, I don't know how to say that, like, he was so, it's not the right word by saying pity, but, like, he kind of pitied the guy at the beginning, like, he cares about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then trying to share his own life just to help him get over it. But like, the thing is, there's no setback, you know? Like,
yeah. How
can he get over it by like experiencing other people's lives?
That's true.
With a limited time, like 1 hour.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
That's so true. But, and so I guess that's why I missed it in the beginning, because I was actually warming up some food. So why couldn't they like make more or something? So it's like just them in the sky too? Like there's nobody else on the spaceship and there's no more replicas or something?
Yeah. They're saying, I think at one point in the program, that when they had a hard time making the ones that they had, so they were going to have a hard time trying to redo or make any further ones. So it was kind of limited.
Mm. So it's just like if you got one, you got one.
I think they have to be on the Earth to be able to make the replica, but they're not on the Earth.
Interesting, right?
They cannot be on the Earth, and also they also said like the spaceship needs to be operated by 2 people. So if like it cannot be operated by 1 person. So guess that's the reason why they cannot even kill each other, because they need to live.
Yeah, see, I thought by the end of it, I thought that one dude where it was like he lost his family and then the other dude who was going to lose his, I thought they were just going to be like, we're about to just blow up the whole ship and we ain't even going to be here. So I was also surprised when it was like, the dude just came back and he's like, no, now we're just about to keep living life in the spaceship together. Like, whoa. like, I don't know. I can't live around you, bro. I can't sleep with my eyeballs open all my life.
The foreshadowing was funny to me. Like when he was working with the wife and telling her the pain, he's like, "Oh, don't be afraid. Just make a stroke, or just take a stroke, or something like that." I was like, "Oh Lord, man."
Oh.
Definitely don't do the same thing there.
Like, we've seen where he was heading with it before she even seen where he was heading with it. No, I definitely think what you said, picking up on the foreshadowing, they'd be like, oh, where is this about to head? But I think they still did a really good job at, like, still surprising you with it not being exactly what you thought. Like, okay, that was cool. I like how you did that. And it was still, like, an element of surprise in that without being also too random. Which was cool. Like,
and it was so random, like at the beginning, why those group of people trying to kill him just because he's a machine, like walking in Earth. What's wrong with that? I don't get it. Why is it wrong?
I guess because, you know, some people, like, whenever they show those really futuristic shows, they become these, like, strong groups that become, like, very anti-technology. Like, and that's what they, like, just live on. Like, oh, they're anti-tech. They go and kind of, like, try to destroy the technology because they feel like that's what, like, ruins civilization. So it's like, you know, and you kind of see those themes oftentimes where it's like, oh, they go down to hunting down AI. Remember, it was in that, even in that one movie that we watched, AI, where they were hunting down all the robots and stuff, and that was like back in the 90s. So it's just like always been one of those themes, like, oh, an angry group of people that are just like F the system, and it's like that's their way of getting back at the system whenever they can. Which is weird though, because it showed you like this like weird dynamic where you feel bad for the computer, but then you also like kind of feel for the people that's like angry as a human. But it's like, but the computer looks kind of sad, but it's like, but they are doing the most. I don't know.
Yeah, like if they kill the computer, it's fine, but they kill the whole family, like the woman and the kids. Like
yeah,
the kids
that was
are
extreme.
like just humans. What's wrong with them?
Yeah, that was extreme. Daddy said if you kill a computer, it's fine. It is just a computer, I guess, right? Like, I remember that's one thing that always will stick with me from watching that movie AI that we watched together. And that's when they were like, no matter how real it sounds, remember it was programmed to sound that real, you know? And I just be like, dang, that's so true.
No, I didn't say like it's okay to murder mistakes.
Okay, yeah, you gotta clarify that on the.
I meant from those murders' point of view, if they think it's wrong to have a machine walking around, then for them to murder a machine makes sense in their point of view. But it doesn't make sense for them to kill other humans.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like it's okay to kill.
Right. You gonna get like an AI like hate anti-Adelia.
Like
Let me get this in the
killing the
algorithm. No, I
I
definitely
was actually
agree.
for one moment suspecting that, like, why do they want to kill the kids? Because they thought the kids can be half human, half machine. And
Ooh.
I was looking at those kids, like, one is older, one's younger, but he was gone, right? Like how come the child get, like, I don't know, maybe he had those child before he went to the space, but, like, I don't know.
It did make me think about that actually when you had mentioned that, because I was like, you know what, it kind of, when that happened, it made me think also about, like, you know, Greek mythology, how they always say, like, you know, the people that were like really great on the planet were supposed to be like those people that were like made when the gods came and had babies with the regular people. And so it had kind of started to remind me of like that time. And so maybe that's why like the people also were like, you don't know what those kids are capable of because you don't know where what their DNA includes. But I definitely think it was still far out because they were humans and they're just kids, like you said. You know, they're kids. I think instead of being scared,
Kids are human, right? Like kids can be dangerous sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, you could have just, you know, work with them. Like, even if they did have some like supernatural powers, which they didn't, but they could even had the chance to learn that. They could have still, I think, used that. But at that point, I think they were just, like, F it. We're going to take them all out, make a statement, be very extreme. And that's where we end up sometimes. And I think they probably showed that because, again, there are going to be those very extreme, like, people, I think there are already that are very, like, think about how as soon as, like, there becomes, like, an anti, like, NFT crowd or, like, an anti something crowd, they get very extreme like that. So I don't think it's like
anti-NFT crowd. Did I hear right?
Yeah, you don't remember all those anti-NFT people, like, oh, Jesus hates NFTs, and, like, they just thought NFTs were, like, the most horrible thing in the world. Yeah, because it was like maybe 2 years ago, when NFTs were actually trying to get their run going and stuff. There was like a whole anti-NFT crowd, like they just, anytime you would say it, it was just like you was either for or against. I see Kush saying LOL. Kush, I know you remember. Don't you remember the crazy anti-NFT people? That's like a large community. And again, I think once you give anybody a reason to do the most, they're going to take it and run.
They should launch an NFT. They should launch an NFT called anti-NFT. I think it's going to get popular.
See a lot of things happening with the same thing with the AI. A lot of my traditional art friends that have people the advent of AI art, so right now.
Right? It's like you're either for it or you're anti, and it becomes like a very strong anti. And I think there's a better median, right? Where it's like, oh, we're just learning. we can't say we agree with everything. We can't say we disagree with everything, but we see what this technology is, and we're trying to learn how to use it, and what we can do with it. And I think that kind of approach, like I said, would be better. They're kids. That's the perfect opportunity right there to be able to try to have a little control over that, learn, experiment, watch long-term consequences. I think our society has become so, like, short-term. They need answers now, where it's like, I think people forgot there's a such thing called long-term consequences. Like, there's going to be a whole ripple effect from what you're doing in the next, 5 to 10 years that people don't even realize. And technology is a big one of those. And
I think we had this conversation before, right? Like, we don't know what's going to happen in 5 to 10 years with technology. And then people like, I don't like robot, I don't like machine, like AI, but people like, I think there was a news about like a paralyzed guy got able to stand up because someone used the Bluetooth to connect his nervous system in his head and his knees, and then he's able to walk. So like, is that a miracle? Is that like a medical achievement, or is that something like, oh, this is a cyber, like, it's something like, oh, it shouldn't be like, this is part of human and AI combination. I mean, human machine combination, not pure human.
Right.
And we should approve it. Or you can't even tell the line.
You can't. And I think it's going to become even more blurred, right? I think the best example that I've been thinking about that with recently has been like marijuana, where it was like, it was illegal in the beginning, and then like some states started to legalize it because it first became legal for like recreation, right? Or not recreation, sorry, just for medical, right? So it could cure cancer. So it became like, oh, if you have the worst disease known to humans, which is cancer for us, and you have that, you can smoke weed because it helps with that, and then it became okay to be able to, okay, if you got that, now you can smoke weed. Then I started to allow certain states to be like, okay, well, if you can smoke weed because it helps cure cancer, then you can also smoke weed for free. Or, I mean, not for free, but, for fun too, for recreation, where now it's, almost up to a federal level where, you should almost be able to, smoke weed in just about anywhere almost, for at least not going to prison for a felony charge like it was once upon a time. And I think, that's kind of how we like integrate these different things into our system. You know, they always say it's like the pandemic when they were like, oh, we're going to just change these rules for a little bit, but then like those rules never change back.
Wait a second, is it real that smoking weed can help cure cancer?
Yeah, it's like it helps to stop the growth of the cancer cells from, in like the very simplest form. Like cancer grows, and CBD helps to like stop those DNA cells from growing, and then it can also help with a lot of the symptoms that you experience, like nausea, not being able to eat, and things like that.
Wow, I didn't know that. I just know that smoking weed is way healthier than drinking alcohol. So I was, in my mind, I was like, okay, if alcohol is legal, then smoking weed should be legal.
Bruh, that was my argument my whole life. Like, I swear, my whole life. I'm like, if you drink alcohol, it's no different than smoking weed. Like, it's just some form of, like, you know, leisure or something. And you know, it messes with your mind. But alcohol, you actually, like, super lose control at some point. And so, definitely agree on that. But kind of back to that main point, it's like the same thing. You know, even alcohol, again, was... it was abolished at one point here in the States. You know, when we were going through like one of those wars back in the day or something, they had actually banned alcohol. And then what did they do? They started having people make their own alcohol and then resell it until it became legal again. So again, it's just like, again, you know, in that same concept of what we're talking about with like how our government is known to like, you know, put this
at
stuff
this
into
point,
it.
I don't even know if the government is trying to do the good for the health of the people, or they're just trying to protect some groups' benefit. I have no idea. You know, like alcohol doesn't sound like a very good option.
It's all about the money, you know that. So you know, just follow the dollar, and you're gonna have all your answers, because that's what it is. You know, everybody just trying to turn a profit, and that's, you know, how you can do that the most has been with AI right now. You know. And so I think it's really interesting, though, because it takes a lot to invest in. So we're going to keep seeing it and seeing how it kind of plays out.
Speaking of like the money and the AI thing, like yesterday I was like looking into those AI technology. There was like a YouTube video showing you how to turn a 2D image into 3D model like immediately through AI, and the platform is called Kedem.com or something like that. And then I was like, it doesn't look too AI. It looks like too good to be true. And I was going through the comments of that YouTube video, and there's a guy that I actually applied for their company, and the job description basically asked me to model with a time limit. So it's all fake.
Like, no, this isn't no AI. This is still somebody having to do it. Wow.
Yeah, I guess. It's not like real AI.
But what I will say is, I think what you'll start to see is, instead of more AI, it's more like CGI and like deep learning, where it's like a lot of these platforms are adding AI and those kind of developers because it's still learning too, you know, but eventually it won't need those developers because it will know how to do all of it without them. So I don't think a lot of developers realize, like, when they get so excited that Unity has AI now and like all of these things have AI now, and like they're gonna keep getting better and better, where, you know, if you live off of like how you guys, you know, are architects, it just also empowers a lot more people to be able to go and, you know, use those same tools that you're training right now on how to you know, create stuff too.
Yeah, it's kind of like pretty difficult that to ask AI to achieve your idea immediately without using any tools or any support, because I don't think AI was at that point. Like, I remember a couple months earlier, I was like nervous that AI is gonna replace my job, and now like I'm trying to ask AI to do my job for me, and it does such a terrible job. I can't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just be careful. It's learning, okay? So you keep doing, you keep growing, keep building Dolphin Arc. So by the time AI take your job, you won't even need no job because your DAO gonna be flourishing, and you're gonna have all kind of stuff in store.
That's true.
Okay. And so, but this has definitely been a dope conversation. I think that was a really cool episode. I loved how it showed us up in the sky, living in a simulation. That has been a continuous topic that we've been having. It's so funny. I was in the bathroom, and then you know how sometimes.
By the way.
What'd you say?
Do they actually live in a simulation? I thought they lived in a real life, no?
Oh, they did, but they were like doing a simulation, right? That's why they would like go in and see. Yeah, I thought they were just doing a simulation.
I thought they were in like a real life. Like it's not a simulation. Like they were just flying in the sky, but like on the Earth they have their avatar, like a machine avatar build. So they're actually in a real life.
Oh, so it's not even but okay. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. I missed a little bit in the beginning. So it wasn't even a simulation. It was like their real life, but they went up into space, and so they were just experiencing it there.
Yeah, because they have to live in the space for a long time, for a couple like decades, right? So that's why the government built their avatar for them, so that they can still experience the normal life as a bonus.
Oh, I see. That's even crazier, because I was like, oh wow, these are like really army guys. Okay. Interesting.
He actually killed people in real life.
Actually killed people in real life. Oh my gosh. And then that makes it even weirder that I was like a baby and like real people that people was killing. Okay, it makes more sense now.
Yeah, that's a real people.
Good job, Black Mirror. This is the kind of stuff I like seeing. That stuff is just so good. Like, okay. And I know we was over here chatting all throughout the conversation, but did anybody else have any points that they, really liked in that show that we hadn't hit on that you'd want to mention? If not, you guys know next week we'll be back to watch episode 3. To anybody listening, we meet here at 1 p.m. Pacific time to actually come and watch each episode, and then we start the stream to talk about it. So if you actually want to come see it because you haven't, make sure you click the link to meet us here in the Raw Dolphin, and you guys see how it goes down. We're going to watch the rest of this season here. So Adelia, did you have anything else you wanted to add before we leave for today? No.
Yeah, I'm just dancing happily here with you.
I love it. Oh, wait. I do actually have one more thing. I forgot. I have to tell you guys, you have to get your raw points, because actually you get 10 raw points for being here today. So let me show you guys how while we're here still on the stream, because Adelia actually haven't got to show you none of this before on our Discord, and our event is one of those that you can get points for. So bear with me here. Okay, sorry guys, you all up in my DMs. Let me get out of here. Okay, let me see, where's Raw DAO? So many dang Discord channels.
That's a lot of.
Okay, and these are all in folders. That's the crazy part. Okay, so here in our Discord, so we have a new Wonderbot. We always use this thing called Wonderverse, where we actually track points, because we appreciate everyone and their contribution into our ecosystem. So we give you raw points for supporting events, resharing, and the way that we have it organized is by pods. And basically a pod is a different business within the Raw DAO. And so each pod basically can set a list of bounties that they need support with or help with, and then how many points you get for doing each of those. And then they also offer different things that you can redeem those points for. So for example, like I could say maybe say maybe I did like, you can rent out this space for like 500 raw points, you know? So it's like, then you get your raw points and then you can use 500 points to rent this space. Tiny has a meta mall, so hers is always a really good example where you can use your raw points to, you know, rent one of her stores. Kush is one of our collaborators, so you can get a lot of points for supporting a lot of his initiatives and events and things like that. And so with the raw Dolphin, since this is one of our official collaborations, you can get 10 points just for collaborating, and it's very, very easy. So all you have to do is come to our raw points section, go to current quest. Here under current quest, you can see all of the different quests that we have available currently, which is onboarding. Make sure you guys do that. It's an easy 25 points. And then right now, this is for join the metaverse talk with Dolphin Arc. So you would see this is number 3. You'd hit number 3. You can scroll down to the bottom here where it says begin, or you can also just scroll at the bottom of your Discord. It will also be down there as well. And so here you see it says drop a picture of the support. So if you came to the event, you can drop a picture from being in the space, a screenshot of you watching the replay, or you resharing it on social media. So I'll show you guys what that would look like. So say I was doing this here. I'm going to go ahead and drop my picture here that shows us from today that I did snap. Oh, Tiny, I didn't even get you in it. I had to take a new one. Okay, and so then I'm ready to submit. I press submit and boom, I got 10 points. And then we have a lot of different things you can drop. So then you can check out the raw quest. You can drop a suggestion for our fashion show that we're about to have, our P2d fashion show. That's 22 points. You can watch our town hall replay. Kush has an event tomorrow. We have game night tomorrow. And these are all the ways that you'll be able to continue to get points. And we have a super cool challenge happening right now. Under the raw updates, you see we are actually having a raw points challenge. So whoever gets the most challenge or points at the end of the week will actually be our first raw MVP or raw contributor. We're trying to figure out a cool way to put it, but yeah, whoever gets the most points this week, they're going to be the first of the first to honor that. So with that being said, make sure you guys get your raw points there in Discord.
I just got my raw points. I love the system. It's amazing. I like how you set it up.
Thank you. And it's been a long time coming, man. We've been using Wonder for a little while now, and it was funny, we just started putting like our little Wonder like bots or boards things in the spaces to try to remember, but this Wonder bot in Discord just made it so much easier because you don't have to go through the website. You can just use Discord and get your points easy. So I'm happy you got your points. Make sure you keep getting them. You can watch the replay of Women in the Metaverse. Like I said, drop a suggestion for the fashion show. That's a good one to get 22 points. And then, yeah, and Wonder is really cool. I know you got a whole DAO. So, you know, I could definitely let you know how you can get hooked up on there, help you organize, because that's where we do our proposals, points, contribution. If you got payouts, like we do everything through there.
Yeah, totally. I think that's amazing to get into that.
Get into it. You guys hear it, and that's how you do it. And like I said, everybody watching this replay, you can go get your points too. Take a picture of you watching the replay right now, screenshot your screen, go to our Discord, upload it, get your points, and yeah, that's how we gonna do it, okay? And we're gonna be back next Wednesday to do it all again, and we hope to see y'all there. Peace.
Yeah, see y'all there. Have a good day. Bye.